There's a lot to like about video games, but it should be said that a few of them have collectibles that are interesting and well known. The worst thing for completionists is a game with hard-to-find collectibles hidden in every nook and cranny of a big open world. Some builders keep things simple, while others use collectibles to show off their creativity. Who would want to collect a simple coin when you can collect small animals, different kinds of trash, and backpacks? All of these collectibles usually tell you more about the game's world or characters, which makes them a must-find for gamers who really like a game. However, before we start our countdown of top 10 games with weirdest collectables, we would appreciate it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel and also press the bell icon. Let's get started. Number 10. BanjoKazooie. What even are Jinjos? They look like a strange mix of a colorful rodent and a teddy bear, but that can't be right. No matter what they are, you have to get them all the way through BanjoKazooie. There's always something a little bit strange about collecting living things. Banjo doesn't have anywhere to put them, so they would end up in his backpack with everything else he has. At least the creatures help you in your last battle, even if they steal your thunder during the cutscene. Number 9. Donkey Kong 64. Most of Donkey Kong 64's collectibles make sense. Everyone knows that Donkey Kong and his friends love bananas, so it made sense for each playable character to collect bananas of a different color. When it comes to the plans, things get strange. There are a lot of blueprints to find in the game, but most of them don't seem to be very useful at first. They are very helpful up to a certain point, but having apes collect blueprints is just weird, no matter what the reason is. Number 8. Breath of the Wild. When completionists got Breath of the Wild, they'd probably shed a tear when they saw how many Korok seeds they would have to collect. They are easy to get, but there are so many that collecting them can feel like work. The real problem comes when you get your reward for saving up a certain amount. After spending enough time with the Koroks, you get their friendship, which is kind of like a Korok turd. Based on that information, it's possible you spent the whole game collecting little Korok pellets. Number 7. Marvel's Spider-Man. In Spider-Man, Peter's many backpacks are all over the city for a good reason, but you can find some strange things inside them. Most of the things in the backpacks are little Easter eggs, but some of them are just strange. A piece of Shocker's swimsuit, an apartment application, and even a simple magnet could all be found. They may also be unusual finds, but they are worth it because they add to the world building. Number 6. Bloodborne. Bloodborne is pretty dark and weird, so it makes sense that there are a few creepy collectibles. If you want a chance to see one of the most complicated secret endings in video games, you have to find the weirdest collectibles in the game. People think of umbilical cords as both weird and gross, and you have to find a certain number of pieces. Even worse, you have to eat them to get to the boss and the key ending. Since then, not many games have asked players to find something so strange. Number 5. Sonic the Hedgehog. The protagonists and antagonists in older video games don't typically behave in overly bizarre ways. Mario is a character that young children may easily relate to, and it is astute of him to save his money in the bank. Why Sonic would desire to acquire rings is something that doesn't make a lot of sense. Nobody can figure out what he wants with all of these golden rings, or why there are so many of them laying about. No one knows why there are so many of them. It's just something that the majority of people have never really given much thought to, yet a famous character needs to collect something. Number 4. Skyrim. It's possible that there are a lot of items that you believe are strange to collect depending on who you are. You may collect practically whatever you need in Skyrim, from one-of-a-kind food and drinks to one-of-a-kind potions, and even trophies from the various monsters you kill in the game. Jars filled with a variety of insects are considered by many individuals to be among the most peculiar things to collect. Players pushed things to the next level by formulating their own mysteries and hypotheses concerning the functions of the various bugs that may be discovered in the game. Number 3. Wild Hunt, The Witcher 3. In The Witcher 3, there are few opportunities for players to interact with one another. You can stockpile weapons and armor, but doing so won't be of much assistance to you. Either you may spend time collecting Gwent cards, or you can browse through all the game's books to learn a significant amount about the history of the game. Because it is so simple to pick up and play, the incredible little minigame has emerged as a crowd favorite over the course of its existence. Geralt does not appear to be the type of person who would take an extensive trip across the country in order to search for the most unique game cards. Additionally, he does not appear to be the type of person who would approach a random service provider and inquire as to whether or not they would like to participate in a game. Number 2. Fallout 4. It's possible that the producers of a game like Fallout 4 have provided you with a wide variety of tools and items that can help you improve your stats. They came to the conclusion that the most prudent action would be to travel with a number of miniature bobbleheads. As you make your way through the wasteland on the vital quest you have accepted, you may come across a variety of bobbleheads if you know where to look. They stand out as a peculiar yet amusing addition to the game when compared to the rest of the pieces that may be obtained. They inject a little bit of fun into a world that, on the whole, can appear to be really depressing. Number 1. Pokemon. It shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone that one of the most successful video game franchises of all time revolves around the concept of encouraging children to go out into the real world, hunt down and capture real-life creatures, and then pit those creatures against one another for glory. That's before we even get started on the First World War. It does not appear unusual to capture Pokemon when one is standing on the ground, because doing so is the primary objective of the games. When you give it a little too much thought, the whole premise starts to seem weird, and it's almost as if it's trying to do something underhanded. On the other hand, if there are particular Pokemon that you do not care for, perhaps this is just what you were looking for. So, that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed the video. Tell us about your favorite game in the comments section below. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to get updates when we post new videos.